Hey everybody, my name is Kat Bowser. I'm your resident fantasy therapist and welcome back to my channel. Those of you here for the first time, welcome. My name is Kat Bowser. I'm a licensed therapist. I'm also a writer working on my first novel. And on my channel, I like to talk about what I consider to be the heart of writing, which is the characters. And the heart of the characters is in their psychology. So that's the angle I'll take with pretty much everything I talk about on my channel. Hey everybody, so this is another tag that Joey Paul was kind enough to tag me in, and this is the favorite part of writing tag. Like I said, I love any tags about writing, so this is always fun for me. I have put the original author in the description below, so make sure you check them out, give them some love. And if you guys like this tag, by all means consider yourself tagged and do these questions yourself or leave the comments below. I always love to read them. So that being said, let's just jump into it. Question number 1, reasons why you love writing. I think for me, it's creation. It's being imaginative. It's creating worlds and characters that don't exist in our world. That's why I love fantasy and sci-fi so much. I view writing and reading as escapism. Most of the time, if you look through my bookshelves, you're going to find a ton of fantasy, a ton of sci-fi, maybe some horror, some supernatural. You probably won't find a lot of contemporary because I want to read about things that I can't do. And that's what I think I love the most about writing is there is no limitation. Actually, let me pull a quote. Those of you who have seen or read The Neverending Story probably know this quote. It's actually one of my all-time favorites when it comes to writing, and it is the exchange between Atreyu and Gamork.
Foolish boy, don't you know anything about Fantasia? It's the world of human fantasy. Every part, every creature of it is a piece of the dreams and hopes of mankind. Therefore, it has no boundary.
And I love that idea. There really is no boundary with imagination. So that's why I love writing. Number 2, why did you start writing? I honestly can't remember a time when I didn't. I really can't. I distinctly remember when I was 3 or 4, I would draw little comic strips with horrible drawings because I cannot draw to save my life. But I would draw these super short stories, and then I would go to anybody that would pay me the time of day, and I would point at each picture, and I would talk about probably 5 to 10 minutes on each picture. Here's what's happening, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. I got into first grade, and that's when I was taught how to write. And I suddenly realized all these words and descriptions that are in my head, I can put on paper now. I was so happy. It was hard. I'm not going to say that, I learned it instantaneously because I didn't. It took me a while and I got frustrated. But once I got the basis of it, I loved it. I started doing it for fun when I was in first and second grade. When I was in second grade, we had to turn in a short story, and I think I turned in like 4 or 5 pages, and my teacher called me up and said, "This is good," but I asked for a short story, and I told her that is short. Because as soon as I learned to write, I did not stop. It didn't matter what I was writing about. I was always writing something. My friends and I used to we used to play imaginative games with like My Little Pony, other toys and stuff. And I started writing stories with them. I started writing stories with unicorns, with dragons, with all these fantasy creatures. They were horrible. They pretty much had no plot. It was just me exploring and writing. But that's why I say I have always written. I don't know. I really don't think there was a time when I didn't. So at least that I can remember. So yeah, I've always written. Number 3, what is your favorite part of writing? The characters and the worlds. Characters definitely first, and that's why I always put so much emphasis on the characters being the most important part of your story, because in my mind they are. I love creating these personalities and watching them play off of each other. Probably my favorite ones to do, honestly. In fan fiction, we call it fluff, which is basically just slice of life, fathers, sons, daughters, friends, just hanging out and being nice to each other and being kind with each other. I love putting those little nuggets in my stories. Obviously, you can't do a whole novel on that because you have to have some kind of conflict. But I love putting these little fun, heartwarming moments in. And that's really what I love to do. That's why I like to focus on relationships a lot, particularly platonic relationships, because that is my absolute favorite thing to read, and it's my absolute favorite thing to write. I actually have on my computer, I have a Word document of just random scenes that may or may not fit in any of my stories, but they just came to me and I had to write them down. I think it's 300K long. So I love doing the characters. I love doing their relationships with each other. And I love creating new worlds. Like I said, fantasy is escapism for me. I love it for that reason. So I love creating these worlds where things happen that could not happen here. For instance, in my work in progress right now, there is an area in the world simply called the Meadow, and it absorbs every single sound. So there is no sound in it whatsoever. No birds and animals live there, but they can't speak, they can't sing, or any of that because the area absorbs all the noise. So it is this eerily silent place, and it is so fun to write. Oh my god, it is so much fun to write. Eeriness is fun. Writing characters exploring places that don't exist and cannot exist is fun. So that's what I love to do. So that is the favorite part of writing tag. Thank you, Joey, for tagging me. And as I said, anyone who wants to do this tag, consider yourself tagged by me. I always want to hear other people's thoughts and opinions. Make sure you leave a comment below if you would like to discuss some of this stuff. As always, I upload every Sunday and every Friday. If you guys have comments or suggestions, feel free to leave them below. I will get to them as soon as I can. And if you don't want to miss when I upload, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And until next time, I hope you guys have a good one.